Hey everyone, it's Ryan here. So I'm doing a review for WWE Hell NSL 2020. It finished about 3 hours ago. Um, Basically between that time, just sort of had a cool down time, just playing games and stuff like that, and then basically get around to making this video. So because I've mentioned it in videos before, whenever I upload a video, it messes with my internet for some reason. The only thing that works is YouTube uploading the video. Everything else just loses connection, and it always says there's like a network error whenever I'm uploading. So I thought I'd do it this late where I don't have to worry about it so much. Anyway, um, going into Hell in a Cell, there were 5 matches on the card. It then changed to 7 whilst the kickoff show was on. Uh, One of the matches they announced, I think, a few hours before the show, which was on the kickoff show. R-Truth was defending the 24/7 title against Drew Gulak. It didn't last too long. It was only like 5 minutes. R-Truth retained. Pretty standard for a 24/7 title match, which seems a bit weird that there seems to be more registered matches for the 24/7 title, despite the fact it's meant to be, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But yeah, R-Truth won. Grand Metalik and Lindsay Dorado came out. Akira Tozawa came out. They kept basically trying to stop each other from taking the belt. R-Truth escaped. Drew Gulak managed to get to the kickoff panel and said that he hates R-Truth or hates the show or whatever. And then they announce on the pre-show before the show starts that Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in the Hell in a Cell I Quit match is starting the show, which took me by surprise. I was watching with a few friends of mine. We do weekly calls on Sunday, and we do like predictions on Sunday, and the winner obviously becomes predictions champion. Yeah, it took us by surprise because we thought that would be the main event again, especially with how well it was received after Clash of Champions. It was almost half an hour. Every Hell in a Cell match was 25 minutes to half an hour, which I'll be honest, with the quality of the matches, actually wasn't a bad thing. They didn't feel like they went forever. This was more of the same as last time. Roman Reigns was beating up Jey Uso. Jey Uso had some comeback moments. I think he hits him with a chair, with kendo sticks. He hits him with stairs. At one point, Jey Uso gets like a leather strap or something, starts whipping Roman with it, but then Roman manages to hit him with a spear, grabs it himself, starts whipping him even harder, so you hear the slapping sound of it. At one point, Roman does the drive-by drop kick on Jey Uso, and he lands next to the ring post. So he gets these steel steps, places them next to Jey, and then basically drop kicks them into Jey into the ring post. So Jey's out. I thought that's how they were going to end the match, which I guess, for me, it was like, if anything was going to have a stoppage, this would have been the match for it, and I guess in a way that makes sense. If anything, I thought it would have been with Roman's new finisher that he's got, because he's got a guillotine choke submission finisher. I thought it would have been Jey Uso would have just passed out. So basically, in technicality, Roman wins, but Jey never said he quit, so it would have been that way. However, they open the cell door, everyone comes out, the referee tries to throw the match out, but Roman grabs him, and even the rest it's your cousin, why are you doing this? Just let me end the match. And basically grabs the ref, throws him over the rope. The bump that the ref took was brilliant. And then everyone else started coming out, so you have Jamie Noble, Pat Buck, what's his name, Adam Pearce. Obviously even more referees. They're trying to cancel the match. Roman's basically just saying to them, don't end the match. He's not said it yet. Basically he's not called me the tribal chief. Jimmy eventually comes out. Roman's about to continue beating up Jey Moore, who's essentially been unconscious for about 5 minutes now. Jimmy starts talking to him. Roman actually hesitates and basically sits down, starts crying, realizes what he's done. I think Jimmy at one point literally says, "What's happened to you?" And Roman says, I don't know what's wrong with me." He basically offers, Jimmy offers a hand to Roman, saying, obviously we can get through it together, we're family and all that stuff. Roman grabs his hand and pulls him in and puts him in the guillotine choke. And whilst he's doing that, Jimmy's hitting Jey, trying to wake him up or just grab him or something. Jay regains consciousness, sees that Jimmy's being choked out by Roman, so he basically says he quits. So it was a very inventive way for them to have Roman win. Like, he basically quits because Jimmy was in danger, not Jay. Whereas at Clash of Champions, it was the other way around. Jimmy threw in the towel because Jay was just getting the crap beaten out of them. So where they go next, I don't know. Maybe Jimmy versus Roman. But yeah, like, this match was amazing. Roman, again, it's an amazing thing. For years we've wanted him to be a heel, and I don't think any of us would have expected he was this good at it. But he does it really well. And I think there's his uncle and his dad, I believe, are standing at the top of the ramp, and basically they give him the lei, I think they're called, the Hawaiian things, and basically they announce that he's the head of the table. Again, Jey Uso didn't say it, so I'm guessing Roman will bring that up on SmackDown. But yeah, so Roman obviously looking really, really strong, really menacing. Well, menacing. But yeah, just the fact that he goes to that length with his family, and like, it's that story again. If he can do this to members of his own family, what do you think he's going to do to someone that's really pissed him off? But yeah, Jay again looked really strong and really resilient in this. Like I said, he got a fair amount of offense in, so like, he doesn't look weakened. It wasn't like a squash match or anything. But yeah, the storytelling for this one, just like Clash of Champions, it was so good. After that, it's Elias versus Jeff Hardy. Only goes for under 8 minutes. A very standard match, but I think after that Hell in a Cell match, you need something that sort of just it's not going to be great. Like, it's not going to be as good, but it just sort of dies down the audience a bit, so they're just not like exhausted from the previous match. Eventually, at one point, Elias goes to grab his guitar. Jeff Hardy stops him, grabs the guitar himself, and basically whacks Elias with it. So Elias wins by DQ. I'm guessing this means that the feud's going to keep going. It's a weird one, because the story is Elias is mad at Jeff Hardy for running him over. Jeff Hardy said, "Well, I didn't run you over, I was framed," which they proved on SmackDown that Sheamus was behind it. They even say on commentary that eyewitness reports said that it was someone with red hair and red beard. Cough, cough, Sheamus, cough, cough, So yeah, I'm guessing this is going to carry on. I believe Survivor Series is the next one, so I don't know. I don't think they'll do anything in Survivor Series, to be honest. It'll probably be like a match on Raw, and it will end there. Oh, by the way, so we didn't do predictions for R-Truth and Drew Gulak, and we didn't do predictions for another match, which I'll mention later on, because they were added last minute. But so far, I've got Roman Reigns and Elias correct on 2 for 2. Next, The Miz versus Otis for the Money in the Bank contract. The story for this one is obviously Miz has filed a lawsuit against Otis, and as a result of some evidence that was given last minute, which for some reason in the promo package, they edited out that part, that Miz handed some last minute evidence to JBL, which convinced him. They literally did like the whole, everyone came out to defend Otis, it looks like Otis is going to win, and then he just goes, I basically like ordered this court case in defendant of The Miz. And it's like you can just tell where the cut is, because he's like up there, and then he just goes, The Miz, like that. And it's like, there's no transition, like you don't see his arm go over there to over there, it's just suddenly The Miz. So yeah, I don't know why they cut that out. Like, that was sort of like a vital part of the court case, but who knows. Anyway, the match is actually pretty good. There was a theme for a few of these matches where the bad guy was getting a lot of offense in, and you kind of like, apart from the Roman one, like it happened quite a lot throughout the night, where the bad guy in the situation is getting a lot of offense in, and you think the good guy's going to come through and win it. However, in this one, John Morrison goes to hit Otis with the briefcase. The referee turns around and sees him last minute, and he tries to hide it. The referee ejects John Morrison from the ring, from ringside. The Miz is worried, almost gets rolled up. At one point, Tucker stood on the outside. I think he goes for like a pin on the Miz, or like he goes for a run of some sort. I can't remember how the ref doesn't see it at this point. I guess the Miz probably grabs the ref temporarily or something. And Tucker grabs the Money in the Bank briefcase and smacks Otis. It's not like miscommunication where it's like he's aiming for the Miz, but Otis accidentally gets it. he purposefully hits Otis with the briefcase. The Miz, this massive look of shock on his face, like, what? Why have you, like, what's going on? Pins Otis, and the Miz is your new Mr. Money in the Bank. I predicted the Miz to win this one because, like I said in my predictions, I was going for Miz wins that, and then Orton wins the title later on, and then Miz has the idea of, oh, I cashed in on Orton 10 years ago. I could possibly do that again. So yeah, Miz is new Mr. Money in the Bank. They have a post-match interview. Tucker essentially explains that he was essentially carrying Otis in his tag team division. He did everything for Otis, and what did he get for it? Nothing. He's like an afterthought. You know, it's all Otis and Mandy and Otis and Miz and all this stuff. And he's like, what about Tucker? You know, Tucker's been doing this. It's not Tucky, it's Tucker. So it's essentially it's the would you call it cliche, I guess, where they basically feel like they're being treated as the lesser tag partner and they've had enough, essentially. Otis comes out and basically has a brawl with Tucker. Tucker gets away, and then that's the end of the segment. Next match, Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Again, this was a really good match. This is Sasha's third Hell in a Cell match. I think she's the only one to be in all of the Hell in a Cell matches for women. And then this is Bayley's first one. So, like, they're this thing where they kept calling Sasha, like, the boss of the cell. My guess is they mean in a sense that because she's been in the most, that's why she's the boss of the cell. But if you do it based on performance ratings, then she's not as much, because going into this, she'd had 2 Hell in a Cell matches and lost both of them. But, like, I guess performance-wise, like actual in-match performance and how many times she's been in it, that's why they called her the boss of the cell. Yeah, a lot of back and forth. Bayley's got her own chair with a like symbol on it or whatever and a big X on it. Basically the one that she attacks Sasha with. That immediately gets thrown out under the cell before it closes down. Bayley then gets another chair. There's chairs, kendo sticks, tables. A lot of back and forth. Many moments where we thought either one would have won. Eventually, Sasha gets Bayley in the bank statement with the chair around her neck, and she starts stomping on the chair. So, obviously, it's hitting Bayley's neck a lot. Eventually, Bayley taps out. So, Sasha Banks is your new SmackDown Women's Champion. This was the only one I got wrong. I thought Bayley was going to retain. I thought they would find some way that Bayley would retain and maybe write off Sasha for a bit longer, have a return at the Rumble, because obviously everyone wants Sasha versus Bayley at Mania. So yeah, like I said, Sasha's new champion. Only question now is, does she defend it successfully? Because Sasha's record when it comes to defending titles is piss poor. Literally every title she's won, she's not managed to successfully defend it once. I think that was like 4 times with the Raw Women's Championship, once with the tag titles. Well, actually, I think apart from their second reign, like Bayley and Sasha's second reign, because the first reign they definitely didn't. I think the second reign they managed to. But yeah, like retention record as a singles champion is not that great. So my guess is Bayley will probably ask for a rematch on SmackDown. But we'll see, I guess. Again, it was an excellent match between the two of them. Like I said, all the Hell in a Cell matches tonight were really, really good, and all for different reasons. The next match, so this was also, I think, set up on the pre-show. Basically, Mustafa Ali and Retribution are backstage. Mustafa Ali basically says his promo and says, right, this whole deal with the Hurt Business, I've got a proposition. One person from Retribution, you can choose who it is, and one person from the Hurt Business goes one-on-one to prove that Retribution are better than the Hurt Business. I think literally 10 minutes before this match, the Hurt Business are being interviewed backstage, and I don't think it's Charlie. It might be Charlie Caruso, or it's Kayla. It's Charlie Caruso or Kayla Braxton. I can't remember which one it was. Like I know that they obviously look different, but I just couldn't remember. I can't remember at the time which one was backstage. I think it was Kayla, because I think Charlie Caruso is on the panel for the kickoff show and all that stuff. Anyway, she interviews MVP and basically says, well, Bobby Lashley's the only one of you lot that's dressed to compete, so my guess you've picked Bobby Lashley. And MVP's like, well, we didn't pick Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley leads us into battle, so he's chosen as the CEO of the Hurt Business that he's going to represent us. And then they ask who they're going to pick, and they pick Slapjack, which for younger viewers, don't look it up. For older viewers, if you've looked it up, it's the funniest name ever, and how they've got away with it, I do not know. But anyway, they pick Slapjack, who's basically, I think it's Shane Thorne, so he's like the smaller one of the lot. So they go to the ring, and to make it more interesting, they said they'll put the US title on the line, so it's a US Championship match, which, you know, fair play. They remembered, oh yeah, Bobby Lashley's the US Champion, because in this whole Hurt Business Retribution thing, it's just been an afterthought. Like, you could have literally said any member of the Hurt Business was US Champion, I would have believed you, because they don't make any point that Bobby Lashley is the US Champion until tonight. It literally goes for about 4 minutes, and Bobby Lashley easily wins against Slapjack. Slapjack gets like 2 moments of offense in, but it's mostly Bobby Lashley. The second he gets the win, the rest of Retribution come out. T-Bar and Mace grab Bobby Lashley. Ali's about to go attack him. Then Bobby Lashley beats both of them up. Ali goes to get in the ring, and then the rest of the Hurt Business comes out, so he cowers away, and Retribution leaves, so they look weak again. Where Retribution go from here, I do not know. I guess we'll tune into Raw to find out. But yeah, I think this was like a tactical insertion for a match, because obviously after that Hell in a Cell match, you, again, like the first one, you need a bit of a breather between it to actually rest up and actually be excited for the last one. But yeah, for that one, I picked it was going to be Cedric versus Slapjack, so I was half right. But that one, it was like, we didn't make a prediction of who would win, we just made the prediction of who the entrants were going to be as like a tiebreaker. Luckily, we didn't need a tiebreaker, because Ben managed to get a clean sweep, so congratulations to Ben. Bailey let me down. And then, for the main event, Drew McIntyre defends the WWE Championship against Randy Orton. Again, this one went for half an hour. This was the longest match of the night, but only by a minute. It was a lot of Orton essentially trying to escape McIntyre. At one point, he gets bolt cutters from inside the ring, cuts the chain off the door. He leaves, like, basically says, oh, like, I'm done, like, because I think he does his apron DDT and Drew kicks out on one, and after that he's like, right, I'm not going to be able to beat him, so basically goes to leave. McIntyre goes after him. Orton counters the attack, basically takes him down temporarily, climbs the cell. Drew then chases him. He has like this red pipe or something, goes to swing for McIntyre and misses, and then McIntyre gets him. Then as McIntyre goes to turn around, he low blows him with the pipe. And then Orton starts to climb down. Drew McIntyre starts to chase him. And then they do the table spot that they've done quite a few times with men in the Hell in a Cell matches. They've done it with Ambrose and Rollins. They've done it with... They've done it with Ambrose and Rollins. They've done it with Ambrose and Dolph. And then they did it here as well. I'm sure one of the Singh brothers did it during the Bamboo match. The Punjabi prison match a few years ago when Jinder Mahal was champion. But yeah, and then from there, Drew's like bleeding from the mouth, so it's like internal bleeding or something, and we're thinking, is this genuine internal bleeding, or, you know, so eventually it's like Drew slowly crawling back towards the cell door, which is along like the other side of the ring, and Orton's just slowly walking with him. So there's us thinking they're just going to cut to the end with the RKO, because this might be a serious injury. He goes for the RKO. Drew does the backslide like at SummerSlam, but Orton kicks out, then gets hit with Claymore. Orton then rolls out the ring. So when Drew goes to get him, puts him back in the ring, goes to Claymore him again. Randy Orton drops to the floor, so Drew McIntyre just takes a back bump. And then as he gets up, he gets RKO'd, and Orton wins the WWE Championship and is a 14-time WWE Champion. Not like the Soul Belt, they like in general world champions. I think it's, if I remember correctly, I think it's like 10 times with the WWE title, 4 times with the World Heavyweight, or it might be 30. I don't think it's 13. I think it's 10 with WWE title, 4 with World Heavyweight, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Randy Orton, 3rd time's the charm, finally wins the title. Stephen, another friend of ours, kept trying to, for weeks, saying that Orton wasn't going to win the title. Like, he was right the first time at SummerSlam. He was right the second time in Clash of Champions. But we were adamant this time he was going to win, and he actually did win. Because in my mind, it was like, if Orton loses here, that's 3 times in a row he's lost to the champion. Where does he go from here? And with the year that Orton's had, you've got to award him in some way. And I'm so happy that he's a champion. And this plays into what I said in my predictions video, where Miz is going to be Money in the Bank, Orton's going to be WWE Champion. Miz is going to have it in his mind, oh wait, I cashed in on Orton in 2010 and become WWE Champion, I could do that again. And would you believe it, Randy Orton put a picture up saying that he's WWE Champion, and then The Miz went, hey, this happened 10 years ago, where it's him with the Money in the Bank briefcase, Orton with the WWE title, and then the next picture is him with the WWE title. So I'm like, I told you. So like I said, I'm hoping at some point Miz decides to cash in on Orton. If he's successful or not, I do not know, but I would love to see The Miz with another WWE title run. I think everyone else does. Like, a decade ago was maybe a bit too soon, but I think they were trying to experiment with him. But like, he's definitely improved a lot since those years. Just as good on the microphone, if not even better. In ring, he's definitely improved as well. But yeah, again, I think Drew had a really good run. I think he only lost like twice. Like, I remember he lost that tag match. I think he lost a tag match and a singles match. Or it might have even been a tag match. But basically they made the statistic that it was Drew's first loss since like August 2019. Which, if you want to be booked strong, there you go. You know, Drew McIntyre's been around all year and he's only lost like once or twice in over a year. And yeah, like I said, I think he's had a really good title run. I think they're hopefully maybe waiting for when fans come back in so they can actually get reaction, which I guess they hope for at WrestleMania, because that reaction he gets at the Rumble when he wins it is amazing. And then there's been the rumor Orton versus Edge at WrestleMania for the title, so this is what they could lead to. And then from that you could have Edge versus AJ Styles, which is obviously the dream match that Edge wants. I think AJ wants it as well. And if you put the WWE title on it, fair enough. So Orton could hold the title from now until Mania. Edge could win the 2021 Rumble. I think people want Big E to win it. Like, if Big E wins the Rumble, I think Edge in a way I think Edge already has a way to get back into it, because he had that greatest match ever at Backlash, which then he got majorly injured, and obviously he was in a heavy feud with Randy Orton, and also Randy Orton attacked Christian, punted Christian in the head. Obviously he's attacked Ric Flair as well, so that will annoy Edge a lot more. It gives him that motivation to come back and go after Orton. So yeah, like, you can literally book for another year with Orton being champion now. Like, I genuinely couldn't think who would face Drew after this. Like, probably Braun Strowman, probably The Fiend, but I don't think we want The Fiend in the title picture. They've already tried that, and it's not worked so well. If anything, I think the title ruins The Fiend. He's much better without it. Sort of like The Undertaker. It's like, The Undertaker, especially in the later years, he didn't need the world title to be a big deal. And I think that's what they need to learn with when it comes to The Fiend. The Fiend doesn't need the world title to be the big evil whatever. Like, he needs to just go after someone with a purpose. Like, when he started going after Braun, it was sort of like, you were part of my family and you left, so I've come to, you know, bring you back, essentially. When he went after John Cena at WrestleMania, it was John Cena beat him at WrestleMania 30 and it ruined Bray Wyatt's career, essentially. Yeah, basically have a purposeful reason for The Fiend to go after someone. But yeah, I think Orton's next challenger could possibly be Keith Lee. Keith Lee could, like, I know it's a step up from the bad matches he's had on Raw. Not his fault, just the way they've been booked. Literally, I think all but one match Keith Lee's have ended in like DQ or no contest. I think the only one was last week on Raw when Braun Strowman beat him after kicking him in the dick. So I feel like there'll be some big match between Keith Lee and Braun Strowman. Keith will win and then make a claim for the WWE title. Like, that's what I'm going to go for. But yeah, this pay-per-view overall was really, really good. Like, especially after watching Bound for Glory the night before, which I feel like if that wasn't a Bound for Glory, it would have been a good pay-per-view, but for the fact it was their equivalent to WrestleMania, it wasn't that great. But this, like, hopefully they've, like, when I saw those 5 matches, I was hopeful that they'd sort of treat it like they do with NXT. You only need essentially a handful of matches and go for quality over quantity, because sometimes they've done 10 match pay-per-views and half of them feel like they could just be on a regular episode of Raw or SmackDown. But yeah, like I said, all the main matches in this, the ones that had story, were great. Elias Jeff Hardy was filler. Bobby Lashley and Slapjack was filler. And then the Hell in a Cell matches were all amazing. I'd say 4 to 5 stars. I'm not really a ratings guy, but I'd say they're like really, really good. The Miz and John Morrison, that had the good, not the Miz and John, sorry, it says on here the Miz with John Morrison. The Miz and Otis, like with a Tucker heel turn that came out of nowhere, like that was really good. Like, so you got even more story there, gives you a reason to tune into Raw tomorrow. And obviously, like, that's the nice thing about what this pay-per-view did. It gives you a reason to tune into Raw, to tune into SmackDown, to see what happens next. But yeah, like I said, the Hell in a Cell matches were the best they've had in a long time. And gladly, no contest finishes like they've done for the past 2 years. Because they did it with Braun and Roman when Brock Lesnar got involved, and then they did it with Seth and The Fiend last year. And luckily, they learned from those mistakes. So I'm hoping, like, going on, that WWE would only have like 5 or 6 matches booked for a pay-per-view, like 3 from each show, because that's all they need. They don't need to fill it for the sake of filling it. Like, maybe Sami Zayn defends a title. Well, I think the next one's Survivor Series, so they're probably going to do Brand Warfare, so we'll see where they go with that. But yeah, like I said, really, really good pay-per-view. Like I said, I think a lot of people going into it thought, oh, only 5 matches, it's going to be like 2 and a bit hours, it's not going to be great. Like, you can tell it's not great because they've only got a few matches, but they've just proved how good of a choice that is. So yeah, Hell in a Cell, a really fantastic show. I'm very excited to see what happens on Raw with the WWE title picture, with The Miz being Mr. Money in the Bank, with Tucker now being a heel. I'm interested to see what happens on SmackDown with Sasha Banks being the new champion, with Roman and the Usos, see what happens there. Yeah, like I said, a very, very good show. The 2 matches that were just average, they would put there for the reason to elevate the Hell in a Cell matches, which, fair enough. You know, like, not every match on a pay-per-view is going to be perfect, but they did their job, which was to... It's like, if there were fans in the arena, then they would be the perfect match to basically cool everyone down from the amazing Hell in a Cell matches they just watched. So, after Roman versus Jay, Elias and Jeff was there to cool down after that. And then you had, like, Miz and Otis. That match was good for what it was. Then you had Sasha Banks and Bayley, which was another amazing match. And then Bobby Lashley versus Slapjack was, again, the slight cool down period. You know, so basically just people think, oh, that wasn't good. And then they get excited for the actual next match, which was the main event. So, yeah, like I said, really, really good show. Been one of their best pay-per-views of the whole lockdown situation. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited to see what happens on Raw, what happens on SmackDown. And for my group that we do Zoom calls on, congratulations to Ben for getting a clean sweep on predictions. I was only 1 off. I got Bayley wrong, unfortunately. And yeah, like I said, it was a really good time. I think I'm starting to enjoy pay-per-views a lot more because I've got people to watch it with. And I'm very grateful for being able to watch it with them. So yeah, on that note, thank you for watching this video, and I shall hopefully see you in the next one.